NCAA championships and what you're looking for this week.
Let's see. I think we're looking to grow for a little bit from last year. We made a tough schedule this year, and I think the guys have been ready since Long Beach. So I think we're just looking to come in, keep competing, and just kind of grow a little bit.
Switching to the student athletes, we'll go with Joseph first. Just statements on being here at the NCAA championships.
Yeah, it's unbelievable feeling being back here for the second year in a row. We're looking to make some more noise than we did last year.
And then Zach, anything to add?
We're just excited. I think last year we wanted to make a statement and didn't go the way we wanted to, but I think this year we're higher seeded, so I think we're more confident in ourselves this year.
Vanelopes here for Off the Block for Zach and Joseph. Talking about this year's team, what do you feel has been the biggest improvement since you were in the NCAA tournament last season?
I'd say our confidence. I think this year, like once we got to the finals for conference, we were just confident. Like we weren't like scared whatsoever of Mount Olive. And we knew we were there last year, and we knew we could do the same thing all over again. This is what we do.
Yeah, I'd like to go off that and say last year it was the first time we've been here for a lot of us, and it was quite an experience, but now it's like we belong here and we're ready to show what we can do.
And then, Coach, I want to ask you, looking at the season, a bunch of people in the media kind of fell in love with Mount Olive, all the respect they had, but at some point it was almost like, man, are we forgetting about the defending champions of the conference? How much did you feel at all that you all were being overlooked this season by folks?
I think collectively as a team, we definitely felt like it, like we were being overlooked. The guys, I think they saw some of the comments. We knew who we were. I know that we lost twice to them, but a couple of times we let them slip up, like we slipped up. And so the guys just used that as fuel to the fire. Going into the finals, into the conference tournament, they were confident that just like what they're saying, that they were going to walk in and just kind of just take that trophy home. But it was a long year of talking about Mount Olive, and I think it kind of helped us in the long run. That was something that all the guys were hearing, and they took it and ran with it.
Looking at UCLA, our question for the players, looking at UCLA, they're going to serve tough. So, Zach, question for you, how do you handle the passing game at UCLA? And then Joseph, for you, just talking about there may be a couple times you're going to have to run out of system and everything. How do you feel comfortable? How do you feel the team is running out of system?
I feel we are very capable of doing out of system, in system, anything against anybody. They are UCLA, but we're here to play, and it's just another team.
I think we've just been working on passing as fast balls as possible. I think we know they're going to come out aggressive, and I think anyone can score off any block, high hands, elbows, rolling, deep shots, anything smart. They're going to get their blocks, and it's going to happen, but that's the best thing about volleyball is anyone can score on anybody.
Coach, I want to ask you, you kind of talked about the schedule this season, played a tough non-conference, went out to Nevada. How much do you feel those experiences on top of last year's NCAA tournament has just helped your players, prepare for this moment?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, when I'm talking to people around campus or other coaches, everyone's saying like, oh, you guys must be so excited. They must be so happy to be here. And the answer is, not really. They're dialed in. It's kind of felt like another conference match. They're not just here as in like, oh, we finally made it. Our job is done. We played UCLA. We played Hawaii. We played Pepperdine last year. We played Long Beach last year. We have the experience of coming in and playing in this kind of environment. I think the guys are ready to build off of it. So the vibes have felt much different postseason and going into our conference final. They honestly have kind of pushed me to be a little bit more dialed, because I started to have that feeling a little bit of like, okay, we did it, we're here, we have UCLA, and all of them were just kind of like, no, we have UCLA, we're going to make some noise, we're going to do something about it this time. So it's prepared us. We've seen the serves, we've seen the big blocks, and I think they know what to expect, and they know how to adjust to that style of play.
And then just going off that for Zach and Joseph, what is the biggest adjustment you have to make when you play a team like UCLA, compared to, maybe a couple of the, teams in the bottom half of your conference?
I'd say the biggest difference is definitely the size. We're a bit smaller, they're a bit bigger, and so we're going to have to get creative in ways to score and whatnot.
I think for me, it's definitely like for the passers, it's those faster serves, like ace or miss concept. You definitely want to be in system as much as possible against these good teams. But that's what some people work on.
And then question, I would say the players, but Derek, as a former player, you can answer this as well. Talk about Belmont Abbey, not necessarily a household name that you as, a 13-year-old may know, but what was it about the school that ultimately brought you to Belmont Abbey?
It's funny you asked that. I've been talking to quite a few people about that recently. We talk a lot about community at the school. Just because it is a smaller school, you get to know a lot of the other athletes on campus. You get to know a lot of professors, a lot of the coaches. It's predominantly athlete driven, so you're hanging out with a lot of other people going through the same thing as you. And when I came on my visit, just everyone was saying hello. I was walking through, I was the first recruit when I was there, and I just got this feeling of belonging. So then when I came back to coach, I kind of got that same feeling again, just more from the athletic director and more from the admin and other coaches. It was the same feeling, and I really enjoyed that. And I think it's helped us get to where we're at. We have been winning the past couple of years because we are like a family. We are really close. We do kind of bond with what we have, and so yeah, that's kind of what brought me back was that community feeling. It was really nice.
And then for Zach and Joseph.
Yeah, I'd say we talk about brotherhood, being a part of a team, being a part of a family, and seeing this on my visit was really something I wanted to be a part of, being this close to a group of guys, and ever since being here, it's been quite the experience of being on a team like this that I haven't been on before.
And his brother went too.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
I'd say for me, it's just all the friends you make. Like you get to know everybody like in the school, and like I walk to class and I say hi to 20, 30 people that are just like somewhat close friends that I see all the time. So it's a home for sure.
I want to hit on something Coach talked about a little bit earlier, that it's not just enough to be here this year. How much of a motivating factor is it for both you as players to know, hey, we want to make some noise this season? And how much has that mindset changed at all from last season where, it was kind of the first time here and not necessarily you're going to lose, but oh man, we're just happy being here?
Yeah, definitely. Last year, there was a feeling of we made it, that's all we were doing, and we went out and played and didn't go how we wanted to, but this year it's very different. The vibes around the team, it's just we're here, and it's not just because we're here for the first time. We're here to win. We're here to take sets off. We're here to do anything we can to prove what we can do.
I think for me, last year I was definitely upset how the game went. I think I played a pretty good game, like for myself, and I don't want that like just for me to have a good game. I want the team to have a good game. So I'm hoping this year like the whole team collectively has a good game and like thinks we can be here, like we're supposed to be here.
And then question for both the players. Both of you are up here, but it's a team game. Who's the player that no one's talking about that we should be talking about?
I'll go first. Jibril El Haddad, for sure. He's a big middle. He helps us so much. Middles worry about him, so it frees me up. So if he's having a bad game, it's because I'm having a good game because he's giving me all the free space on the court.
Yeah. Especially in our conference play, teams mainly focus on Jabril, and it just really opens our whole offense up, allows us to win. It's a big reason why we win a majority of our games.
Coach, one or two kind of broader questions for you that I want to touch on. Looking at the Conference Carolinas, you kind of think about it, it's been now 11 years since you all started getting, the AQ and everything. How do you feel the conference has continued to develop and grow in your time in the league?
I would say in the last 5 or 6 years, I've seen, we're starting to get better coaches. Guys are a little bit more invested, staying around a little bit longer. But a lot of the players, the top players in the conference, I think, are able to compete with other conferences and big teams around the country. You know, you're looking at a couple years ago, you had the Mandelaris brothers out of Barton, and then transferred to Ball State as last year. They did really well. I think you have some guys on our team that can compete. Mount Olive. Just across the board, you're seeing guys that want to go to a place where they feel like they belong and they compete really well. So I think the conference is starting to grow, make some noise, and it's just helping the game in general just grow.
And then lots of talk, chatter about the possibility of a Division II NCAA championship. You know, pros and cons, obviously. Your path to the title gets a little easier. You don't have to go through UCLA, but not many teams at Belmont Abbey get the opportunity to go up against UCLA. As a coach, how do you balance that? Do you have any thoughts on kind of what you'd like to see in the future?
In the future, I'd like to see a bigger tournament for sure.
Yeah.
I know it's not really, it has anything to do with the D2 championship. No, I just want to see the game grow. Stop cutting programs. You know, I mean, there's a lot going on in men's volleyball. We have a lot of really good players that go play professionally from every single level. So it's a really fun sport. I like to see it just continue to expand. And as far as us competing against UCLA and that kind of stuff, it's just great for the school. It's great for programs growing, for us to be able to compete on a stage like this, for players to get recognized, to be an All-American like Zach over here. I just want to see schools kind of take that leap of faith and just trust in men's volleyball and boys volleyball, and get some more programs established.
Just to follow up on that for the players, how important is it for you all to have those options? Think back when you're 16, 17, to have multiple of options for teams where some players may not have all those options if programs are cut.
It's really important that more teams get teams instead of cutting teams. For young players, there's already not a lot of options, so cutting teams really won't help the game, won't help anybody. So it's really important that more teams somehow sprout up, and just for the youth and for people who are playing.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, it's already hard, like, as a kid. When I was a kid, I started volleyball when I was like 17 years old, and it was hard to, obviously you want to go to the biggest, like, baddest school, but it's not always going to happen when we only have, like, collectively, like, 30 D1, D2 teams. So it's hard for all the kids out there who want to play and don't get the opportunity.
All right, and then it's media day, so you get 2 off-the-wall questions. First being, I had my 6 or 7-year-old come up with questions. So she wants to know, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book is probably The Janitor. I forgot the author. I read when I was a kid, and I read the whole series. But you gotta look into it. It's good.
We all answer?
Yeah.
I'll go. All right, you got it. I'll go first. I gotta say, I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy. Sorry, but I listened to them on audiobooks. I haven't actually read them. It's pretty tough.
I'd have to go To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm not a big book guy, but reading this one in school was definitely my favorite.
All right, and then final question. I've seen online pictures of your mascot. How do you think your mascot would do trying to make a jump serve? Do you think they could get it over the net?
Well, if they go with the hand with the sword, they might cut the ball in half. But
I don't think so. They're not getting off the ground. They have 100 pounds of armor on.
Yeah, he looks more athletic than he is.
Yeah.
he's more of a libero. You put him in one spot, and he just kind of stands there and takes it.